Hi everyone, and welcome to this lunch yoga class. You can do this practice whenever you want through the day, but I've designed it to really open up the shoulders and the chest as well as the heart, since in the middle of the day, if we are working in front of the computer, maybe we need to open up, since we usually end up in this situation when we're in front of our laptop. We're also going to do some energizing backbends as well as some twists to really wake up the spine and get us energized for the rest of the day. So we start by coming seated to the mat, maybe cross-legged, or if that's not available to us, we can also sit like this on our feet. Whatever feels comfortable for you, and there's a position that you can stay in for a little while. So before we start to move, I want us to really focus on the breath, since we will be moving with our breath in all of our asanas. So we start by taking our hands on our knees, rolling back the shoulders and closing our eyes. We start to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. When you feel that you have a little bit of more control of your breath, we're going to start to do one pranayama breathing exercise to deepen the connection with our breath even more. So we're going to do something called box breathing. So you can imagine that you have like a box in front of you, and we're going to move through it with each inhale and exhale. So we start here, and we start to inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. And then we hold it at the top for 4, moving to the other side. Exhale through the nose for 4, moving. And hold the breath for 4, moving. And exhale the breath for 4 as you move. So when you move in this box, it's just by imagination, but it will really help you to focus on the breath. So we do this 2 rounds with our own pace in the box. Inhale through the nose, hold for 4, exhale through the nose. Inhale, hold for 4, exhale, hold for 4. Now continue like this in your own pace until I tell you to stop. Now, with your next exhale, you slowly start to open your eyes and move out of that box and come back to the present, still staying with this breath throughout the whole practice. We start to move in big circles, moving forward as we inhale, and round the spine, come all the way back as you exhale. Inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Inhale front, exhale round your spine, and we switch direction. Inhale through the front, exhale round your spine, inhale and exhale. Slowly coming back to center, taking your arms in front of you and start to move your wrist in one direction. Big circles, really warming them up. And switch direction. Don't forget to breathe. And now take your hands next to your body and place your left hand a little bit outside your body. And inhale, raise your right arm up. Exhale as you fall over to the left side. Feeling the stretch here in your side body. Staying here for 2 deep inhales and exhales. On your next inhale, come up to center. Exhale, right hand to the mat. Inhale, left arm up and fall over to the right side, stretching the other side. Breathing here, maybe looking up to the ceiling for an even deeper stretch here in the side. And on your next inhale, come all the way up to center and put down your arms. Now take your arms in front of you and clasp them and round your spine all the way back as you exhale. And then you inhale, take your arms to the back and clasp them there. And look to the sky, stretching your chest. Couple of breaths here, really opening up the chest. Untuck your arms and come forward with them to your knees as you stretch your feet and legs to the front and start to do big circles here with your ankles. Moving with the breath and switch direction. Come back to stillness and bend your right leg. Take it over your left leg and tuck your left leg in like this and find your sitting bones. Now take your right arm outside your right knee and twist all the way to the back, looking to the back of the room, feeling the twist, the stretch in your spine, breathing in and out here through the nose. On your next inhale, come back to center and switch your legs. So left leg over the right, find your sitting bones and twist to the other side. Inhale, we're coming back to center and slowly transitioning to tabletop. Find your knees under your hips and your hands firmly gripping the mat under your shoulders. Now untuck your toes and start to inhale and look up, and exhale round your spine, moving here in cats and cows with our inhale and our exhale. If you want to move your hips around a little bit as you move in the cats and cows, that's amazing to warm up your hips as well. Now with your next exhale, come back to center and tuck your toes, slowly raising up to down dog. Find your position here. Have your hands firmly to the floor and press it away from you as you lengthen your spine. Hips pointing to the sky, and micro-bend your knees here to not hurt them. Just breathing here for 5 deep breaths. Now look to the front of the mat and slowly start to walk forward all the way to your hands. And when you're at the top, you hug your elbows and fall from the hips all the way down as much as you can, stretching the hamstrings and lengthening your spine as you're falling further and further down to the floor. Breathing here. Now take your hands to your ankles and look halfway up, hands to hips, and look all the way up, coming to a standing position. Now we're ready for sun salutations. So we start by inhaling arms up, slight back bend, pushing our pelvis forward, and exhale, fall down to the floor. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right leg back, drop the knee, look to the front, and then step your left leg back to mountain pose. Find your position here, hands firmly gripping the floor, pushing your spine to the back of the room as your hips are coming up to the sky. And then we transition to plank, putting down our knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhale to cobra. Exhale back to mountain pose. And staying here for 5 breaths. Find your position and breathe in and out through your nose. Now with your next inhale, you take your right leg forward, drop the left knee, look to the front. Exhale, step your left leg to the front, look halfway up, and fall forward all the way down. And as you inhale, you come all the way up with your arms to the sky and slight back bend, pushing your pelvis to the front of the room. And exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. We go for a second round, so inhale, arms up, slide back bend. Exhale, fall to the front. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right leg back, drop the knee, look to the front. And exhale, left leg back to mountain pose. Inhale, come to plank, drop your knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhale to cobra. And exhale to mountain pose. Find your position, staying here for 5. Inhale, step your right leg forward, drop your left knee, look to the front. Exhale, take your left leg all the way to the front, looking halfway up, and fall all the way to the floor. Inhale, arms up to the sky, slide back bend, and exhale, arms next to your body, Tadasana. Going for third round, focusing on the left leg. Inhale, arms up, slide back bend. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your left leg back. Drop the knee, look to the front. And bring back the right leg. Find your mountain pose before you transition to plank. Put your knees, chest and chin to the floor. Inhale, cobra. And exhale back to mountain pose. Staying here 5 breaths. Pushing up your hips to the sky. Lengthen your spine by pushing away the floor with your hands. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, step your left leg forward. Drop your knee on the right side, look to the front. And exhale, take that leg to the front as well, looking halfway up. Falling all the way down to the floor. And as we inhale, we come all the way up with our arms to the sky. Slide back bend. And exhale, repose and hands by your side. Going for the last round. Inhale, arms up, slide back bend. Exhale, fall all the way forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, left leg back, drop the knee, look to the front. And right leg back to mountain pose. Find your position. And transition to plank. Coming down with knees, chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. And exhale to mountain pose. Staying here for 5 breaths. Maybe try to push away the floor even more this time. Really lengthening your spine. Feeling the space between your vertebrae. In your next inhale, step your left leg forward to runner's pose. Drop your right knee, look to the front. And bring the right leg to the front, looking halfway up. And exhale all the way down. Inhale, coming all the way up with arms to the sky. Slight back bend for one last time. And exhale, prayer pose, hands by your side. Take a step with your right leg back, about a leg length back, having the right foot pointing to the length of the mat and the left toes pointing to the front of the mat. Inhale, arms up in line with shoulders, and exhale, fall to the left leg and raise up your right arm to the sky, finding a straight line here in your body. So maybe tucking in your belly a little bit and breathing here for 5 deep breaths. Inhale, come all the way up, hands by the hips. And now switch the directions of your toes, so right foot is facing the top of the mat and left foot the length of the mat. Inhale, arms in line with shoulders. Exhale, fall all the way to the right leg and raise up your left arm to the sky. Find your straight line here and breathe for 5 deep breaths. Inhale, come all the way up, hands by your hips. Exhale, move to the other side again. So we're gonna do reverse Trikonasana. We inhale, arms to the side, and exhale, take your right arm outside your left foot and raise up your left arm to the sky, twisting here in your back, staying for 5. Find your balance, looking slightly up to the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center, hands by your hips. Exhale, move to the other side and take your left arm down outside your right foot and raise up your right arm to the sky, twisting the spine, breathing here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, hands by your hips and step to the top of the mat. Now open up again about a leg length back, but you take both of your feet to the length of the mat. Micro bending your knees, hands by your hips, proud chest, and fall all the way forward from your hips down to the floor. Grabbing your big toes with your index finger and middle finger, and drop your elbows out to the side, falling deeper down to the floor, lengthening your spine and breathing here for 5. Inhale, hands by your hips, coming all the way up to neutral position. Prepare for the second round. Hands by your hips, proud chest, before we start to fall forward all the way down to the floor, falling from your hips. This time clasping your hands behind you and straighten them out as much as possible in front of you, and then slowly start to come down more and more as you inhale and exhale. We're staying here for 5 breaths again, and as you inhale and exhale through your nose, think about having that micro bend in your knees to not hurt them. On your next inhale, put your hands by your hips and slowly start to come up again into standing position. We're taking a step toward the front of the mat and relax yourself in standing position. Take one deep inhale here, and on your next exhale you bend your knees and come down to a seated yogi squat, malasana. Open up the space between your hips by pushing your elbows into your knees and just feeling the opening of your hips. We're staying here for 5 breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. On your next exhale, you take your hands down to the mat and step back into tabletop position. Now place your hands a little bit further to the front of the mat as we're coming into thread the needle pose. So take your right arm and thread it under your left arm. And then you put down your cheek to the mat and try to feel the opening between your shoulder blades. If you're not feeling the stretch, you can take the left arm a little bit further to the top of the mat, and then you should be able to feel that space opening up between your shoulder blades. Breathe in and out through your nose, paying attention to how you feel in your body. On your next inhale, we slowly come up and put the right arm to the front of the mat. As we take the left arm and thread it under the right, putting down your cheek to the mat, and start to inhale and exhale through your nose. Staying here for 5 deep breaths. On your next inhale, we unthread the left arm and come down all the way to the floor with our whole body. Put your arms in line with your shoulders and put down your face on the top of your hands, just resting here for a little bit in Makrasana. Maybe pay attention to your hip area as you feel it sinking up and down as you're breathing. On your next inhale, start to bend your knees towards the bum and catch your ankles with your both hands as you lift up your chest and push your feet into your hands in bow pose. Make sure there's no strain in the neck, looking slightly down to the floor, and focus on your breathing in and out through your nose. Feel your body sinking up and down as you inhale and exhale. On your next exhale, release your feet and come all the way down to the floor, before you start to push yourself backwards into child's pose. Resting here for a couple of breaths, feeling your hips falling heavy and your forehead pressed to the mat as you're lengthening your arms to the top of the mat, breathing in and out through your nose. On your next inhale, start to slowly come up from the pose and transition into seated position, Dandasana. Make sure both of your sitting bones are equally in the mat, and then we're inhaling as we're lifting up our arms to the sky and falling all the way forward, catching the outside of our feet or grabbing the toes. If that's too much, we can also grab our chins and just really lengthen your spine, looking forward to your feet as you inhale and exhale through your nose. If you feel any tension in your neck, maybe try to look a little bit further or a little bit more down. The most important part is that you don't feel any strain in the neck, rather focusing on lengthening your spine and just opening up your hips and giving love to your hamstrings. On your next inhale, look slightly forward and come all the way up with your upper body again. From here, we transition into laying position, so you can just come down with your upper body all the way to the floor. Take one deep breath in and out before we start to get ready for the wheel pose. So we bend our knees, putting our heels close to the bum, arms straight next to the body, and as we inhale, we lift up the hips towards the sky and then tuck in your arms under your body and clasp your hands. Breathe here mindfully as you push your hips as much as you can up to the sky. And don't forget to breathe here, in and out through your nose. On your next exhale, you gently start to come down with your hips to the floor again, relaxing your upper body, taking a deep breath in and out. We're getting ready for the second round, so if you want to do full wheel here, you take your hands next to your ears, inhale and push up your whole body towards the sky, making sure your knees doesn't fall out to the side, and try to lengthen your spine as much as possible, really squeezing your buttocks to protect your spine. And breathe here, deep breaths in and out through your nose. On your next exhale, you slowly start to come down all the way to the floor again. And then we catch our knees, hug them close to our body, and massage that lower body by swaying from side to side, maybe making some circles, really connecting your lower back to the mat. On your next inhale, you hug your knees a little bit harder toward your chest, and then you lift up your upper body, looking at your knees, and just stay here for a couple of breaths. This is to neutralize the spine after the back bend, so just enjoy the sensations in your back here as you're breathing in and out through your nose. On your next exhale, release your knees and gently come all the way down to the floor, lengthening your legs to the front of the mat. Find yourself in a laying position. From here, we start to tuck in our arms under our body, so the top of the hands are facing your bum And then you lift up yourself on your elbows, so lifting up your upper body. And then you put your crown of the head down to the mat as you're lifting up the chest to the sky in fish pose. This pose is really good to open up your shoulders, so just focus on that area while you're breathing in and out through your nose. On your next exhale, release your head and look at your feet to neutralize the neck before you start to come all the way down with your upper body to the mat again. Untuck your arms as we're getting ready for the last pose before Shavasana. Now put your arms out to the side in line with your shoulders, and then start to lift up your legs 90 degrees towards the sky. And we're taking the right leg over the left leg and try to wrap it around with your feet, and then we fall over to the left side. Your head is turning to the right, and we really want to feel the twist in the spine here. So focusing on putting your shoulder blades down to the mat as you're twisting your spine in different directions. Deep breaths here, focusing on how it feels in your spine when you're lying in this position. On your next inhale, you start to come back with your legs to center, and then we switch to the other side. So you take your left leg over your right, wrap around, and fall with your hips to the right side as you look to the left side. Pushing your shoulder blades down to the mat, and breathe in and out through your nose as you're focusing on your spine, seeing if you can feel any sensations here as you're twisting it. On your next inhale, start to come back to center, unwrapping your legs and putting them all the way down to the floor. Place your arms next to the body and start to find a really comfortable position here as we're finally coming into Shavasana. Make sure there's enough space between your legs. Let your feet fall floppy out to the sides. Relax your shoulders and open up your palms towards the sky. Take one deep breath in through your nose, and then you exhale through your mouth to just let everything go. One more time, breathing in through your nose, exhaling out through your mouth. And now just stay here in stillness. Enjoy the state of being. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. Just stay here until I call you back, and try to calm down your mind, your breathing, and just be here for a while. Now slowly start to come back to the physical world by moving your fingers a little bit, moving your toes, maybe taking your head and shaking it from side to side. And then when you're ready, you bend your knees, hug them, and fall over to the right side. Rest here for a couple of breaths like a little baby. And then when you're ready, you slowly start to come up to seated position again. Try to have your eyes closed still as you find yourself in a comfortable position as when we started the class. Place your hands on your knees. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. And then put your palms in prayer pose, close to your heart. And thank yourself for taking this time to nurture your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I want to thank you for practicing with me today. I hope to see you soon again. Namaste.